Hello Targar friends, hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here and it's time for another Orc Mode workout. And I think we have the sound sorted. I have built a quiet room and even my computer's completely encased so we don't hear the fans now. So hopefully this is going to be a little bit better. You guys let me know down below how this sounds. And if you guys would please remember to click like if you watch these videos, it would be greatly appreciated if you guys would please help offset those dislikes that flood in for no real reason other than people are just jerks. So it would be greatly appreciated. Just please click like. Thank you so much. Now today was max effort squat day, and I kind of have said I was going to be experimenting with using range of motion differences. And I'm going to admit, on a 14-inch box, this was hard. I've already had someone in the other comments say, what do you mean it should be easier? Well, it wasn't easier for me. Like, watch me right here with my box squat. This looks worse and slower and harder than my 12-inch last time. And we know that I'm stronger because my other assistance lifts are all up with chains, with bands, everything else. And so I went ahead and I knew I might risk failing it, but I went for it anyways. And here's the thing on max effort day. You can't be afraid of failing. And there's a lot of misconceptions out there. I need to make videos on this. I need to make videos on people being afraid of failing lifts. It's perfectly safe to miss these lifts if you know what you're doing. It's perfectly safe. People get hurt doing fives a lot more than they get hurt doing stuff like this. I missed that lift. Bam. Bam, missed it. 522. It wasn't my quads. My quads have grown. Look how much bigger my quads are. Not my quads. I couldn't get my hips into the right position. Like I couldn't get my hips and glutes to really fire the way that I needed them to fire from that next higher up position. That 14-inch box brought out my weakness. Why do we do all these variations? Yeah, I've got videos talking about max effort and rotating variations and why we do it. But let's get to an important one. These different variations bring out our weaknesses. And sometimes starting a lift in 1 or 2 inches of a different position, even if it reduces range of motion, which in theory in some cases should make a lift easier, but it doesn't always make it easier, does it? This is where we find our weaknesses. When you miss lifts, you know what muscles gave out. When you miss a 1 rep max, there is no doubt in your mind what hurts. There's no doubt in your mind. And it was my hips. My hips, which also means I've got to get glutes and hips firing harder out of the bottom of those squats. Now, before people say, Jason, you've got strong glutes and hips. Yeah, I have over 500-pound squat glutes and hips. I don't have 600-pound ones. So what do we do for the first accessory? Took 2 inches off that box, dropped down and did some sets of 10. Now, these are tough. After missing a squat, 322 on the lower box for sets of 10 was actually challenging. This was hard. Normally I would laugh. A lot of times if you guys said, Jason, just over 300 pounds for 10 reps for you should be easy. Yeah, if it was a normal back squat. Going down onto this other box after missing that squat, it was tough. So it's a nice challenge. I need to build work capacity on these. 3 sets of 10 today was good. We'll build up. We'll build up on it. But I need to do more of them. I'm going to start doing more of these difficult variations of some of my main lifts on max effort day just to get the extra training volume. You know, because these are also accessory movements for your main lifts. Close enough variations of your main lifts done for reps. All right, go back down to a 12-inch box. Get that nice deep box where I can fire the hips harder. And you know what? By my 3rd set of this, my hips, the area I felt giving out on the squat was just devastated. All right, that's all it had. But that's what we do on max effort day, guys. We find our weak links, and then we train them. And what does train them mean? Train them means we have to hypertrophy them. They need volume. They need volume. So really for me, it's hip, it's posterior chain, all of that stuff. And it's not to say I don't need some upper back and T-spine and things like that. I'm going to do good mornings in a minute. I need my glutes, my hips, realistically my whole posterior chain. Now some people are going to say, Jason, you have a strong posterior chain. You just deadlifted 600 pounds last week. That's not the point. The point is it needs to be stronger. I'm struggling with really getting enough hip and glute to power me out of the bottom of that squat. I need more power coming out of the bottom there. I didn't feel any issue in my quads. My quads are bigger now. Right? My quads have definitely grown. I don't have tiny quads. They're definitely there. I didn't feel any quad strain on that at all. When it started getting heavy, I didn't feel anything in my quads. It was all hip. Now glutes you can't feel, but we know that that's all tied together. So we need to build these areas. So nice wide stance good mornings. And why the straight bar? Because I'm getting to where I can't stand that safety bar right now. I'm going to have to do a bunch of neck work if I want to use a safety bar. I'm going to have to do more neck work because it gives me a throbbing headache. So I've got to use a heavier weight when I use the straight bar. And I had to get it in the right position. But it still works the T-spine up there. All right? And it works all that posterior chain and lumbar. It's a good accessory. This will work for, obviously, help both my squat and my deadlift. But taking that nice wide stance. I want to get that wide stance in so I can work the hips. But see what I mean about right there about my quad? My quads have grown. Their quads are bigger. All that quad work paid off. I'm not going to do any other quad work for now other than just my Metcon stuff. And the things that I'm doing here, extra squatting, extra pulling. But we need hip. We need abductor and adductor. We need glute. We need hamstring. I need T-spine. You're going to bring up just the whole posterior chain. Hamstrings and glutes and hips. They need to grow. Like they're holding me back. They're holding me back from getting better. Because I felt that position just starting a bit higher, a couple inches higher, that position, I felt that weakness. And I could feel it ramping up. Even 502, it felt different. Like when I hit that 502, I felt my quads on the deep box. I felt them, but it was a good lift. Originally, the one from, a couple months back. It's been like 6 weeks at this point. 7 weeks. Actually, I think it's been 8 weeks. So, and we know that we're stronger. So next time I'll drop an inch off of that. So I'm going to work on all these weak points. Obviously next week is a deadlift. And you're going to see the same thing. I'm going to drop an inch off the deadlift from what I did last time. And then we'll alternate it. The next week I'll drop the box squat down an inch. I'm going to bring that range of motion back down. We're hitting these slightly different variations in range of motion to find more of the weak points. See where they're going to come out at. Identify them. Expose them. Go to school. Right? We go to school on max effort day. And missing lifts, both PRs and missed lifts, give us valuable feedback. I mean, you guys are going to notice more and more. I'm not afraid to miss lifts. And you notice it doesn't seem to be a risk of getting hurt. I don't ever have a tendon or anything hurt when I miss one of those lifts. I have muscles that hurt. The weakest muscle usually hurts. So you guys who get scared of maxing out, you might want to think that through for a moment. I'm not. But you know what I am scared to do? I'm scared to miss a 5-rep set. Because that's where you get hurt. That's where you really get hurt, guys. Heavy weight when you're fatigued. When you miss a heavy lift that you focused on and concentrated on and you're in your groove, you have safeties in place, that's not where you get hurt, guys. Especially when they're not really psyched up and fairly calm. These are training maxes. These are calm maxes. Fairly calm. I mean, I get in my zone a little bit, but I'm not taking pre-workouts. I'm not taking stimulants. I'm not blaring really loud music and screaming. So, I mean, I have psychological arousal, but these aren't all out in that regard. But they are all out training maxes to the point to where I'm willing to miss lifts. And you can't be scared of that. Because you know what? That missed lift is valuable. Those missed lifts show you your weaknesses, and that's how I've been PRing. I mean, look at what I did with my deadlifts. How many deadlifts did I miss? And then bam, pull 600. And that's going to be off the floor here shortly. So that's what we have to do, guys. You have to be willing to miss lifts. You have to be willing to miss lifts because it takes you to school. And when you do these variations and you start missing them, my God, does it expose your weaknesses? And if you don't find your weaknesses, how are you going to improve? How are you going to improve? Now, some people would say, well, you missed that one. Aren't you scared of missing it a second time? Yeah, I won't do that one again. That's the beauty of it. You don't do the lift again that you missed. You avoid that thing for a while. You're going to miss something else, get beat up by a different exercise, different variation. That's how you stay not scared, by the way. You start getting scared of a lift. If you bomb the same exercise 3 times in a row, the exact same exercise, you start getting scared of it. And it's unavoidable. By changing them up, you don't really get scared because you haven't been beat up by that lift for quite a while. It's fine. It's fresh. It's new. And then we did these glute bridges, which weight PR. These were hard today. Like after the other work, because today's workout was a little tougher in general. It's a little more weight than I've done because I did that squat instead of the safety bar one, and so I had more weight on there. So it's more lower body work. Because I did a different variation of the good morning, I put a little more weight on there. So I was a little more fatigued overall. So this weight jump was challenging. Me putting another 10 pounds on these was tough. But I've been PRing every single workout on these glute bridges. I want to get really strong at these. I know they'll bring a lot to the table for me. I just need to get strong at them. And that means we just keep getting stronger and stronger. I want to get up to where I'm doing like 405 for the 5 sets of 10. That's a goal of mine. Maybe one day to get to 500 for that. But, even just getting to 405, I think, for 5 sets of 10, I think would make a profound difference in my glute and hamstring and core strength. So I'm going to keep working towards it, workout by workout. But you know what? Today was a valuable session. We learned a lot. It was useful, and I feel like I did a lot of work to put some more size on. To get thick as peanut butter, baby, because it's a good kind of fat. All right, guys, well, that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.